Hello, welcome to my channel, Rosa Luna's channels. Today we're gonna be talking about how I learned to speak English, Spanish, and Quechua. My first language is Quechua. As long as I remember, I come from a mountain range of Peru where we speak Quechua. My grandmother used to speak Quechua and a few words in Spanish. While I was growing, I played with my classmates and with my neighbors. I played talking Quechua because that's our first language. So when I went to the kindergarten, my teacher taught us numbers and colors in Spanish, but I did not pay any attention. I was really good in dancing, yes, the playing. By the years went by, I went to school. We still did speak Quechua with my classmates. Even my teacher used to get say Español every time when we were just talking in Spanish. But we were quiet. Instead of talking in Spanish, we were quiet. But I guess we were really comfortable talking Quechua. I remember going to the front to read a book. I was reading. I was so nervous, just reading and reading. I did not pay any attention. When I went back to my seat, I'm so glad that my teacher did not ask me because I did not understand at all what I read in Spanish. So I still remember that I was so timid, very shy, I guess. Since I grew up in a mountain range of Peru, there was not much to do, like watching television or talking by phone. We did not even have electricity while I was growing, so the life it was quite completely different. Quiet, mountain range, mostly rocks and mountains. So life was quite different than where I am presently. Well, by the years went by, my father had a book. It did say on the top, Aprenda inglés en 15 días, which means learn English in 15 days. I was amazed. He also had other books, but I was intrigued because I wanted to learn English. I used to say, maybe if I just read for 15 days straight, I can speak fluently English, but I never did read for 15 days straight. Once in a while, I read it like numbers, ABCs, but I did not read for straight 15 days. I did learn ABCs. I memorized from that book the ABCs, numbers, a few numbers, and then I remember still tuna fish salad, which was ensalada de atún, liver, that was hígado, fire, we said fire because that was fire. So it's interesting, very interesting, but for some reason I was really intrigued to learn English, even though when I was living in a small town, no one spoke English. Well, also we took in middle school, we had to take what grade was it? In seventh grade, we had to take English class, but everybody was just afraid to answer, and we were very worried because we didn't want to get any zeros in English class. We did not answer. We were so quiet. We were just writing down the numbers. The talking and spelling was quite different. Our teacher was just teaching us, and we did not learn at all. Just the professor, teacher, though only the student, estudiante, only a few words I still remember, but for the test, I don't know how I passed that class. I don't remember if I passed it. Probably I passed it with very low grade. Well, when I traveled to downtown Lima, I was kind of afraid to communicate also because my Spanish wasn't fluent at all, because in the class I had to speak and communicate, answer or ask question in Spanish, and I was just sitting quietly in the classroom just listening. I was just more worried about what the teacher. I was very focused what he was doing, what he was talking, how he raised his hand. I was not paying much attention because the life completely different was in Lima. Since it's the downtown, the buildings, the culture, the language, everything was so new for me. So I was kind of culture shock for me because everything was quite different. I had to communicate in Spanish and study in Spanish and also work. So change was drastically. But sometimes I really wanted to go back to my town seriously because life was so hard. I had to make a living by myself, earn my own money, study on my own responsibility, and it was probably my mind was still like 9 years old, but even though I was 15 at that time, it was challenging. I remember wanting to go back to my town, but I since my desire was great to stay. I wanted to buy my nice dress and uh, stay in the nice buildings, and I guess my want was much greater. So I stayed in Lima. By the time went by, I there was an opportunity to travel to this country. Again, when I got to this place, it was challenging again. I did not speak English, only a few words, still the numbers and ABCs. Oh my God, what should I was just quiet, staring around every little nice things, like everything, the things, lights, like a subways, like trains under the ground, metro buses, cars, people were, oh my gosh, it was totally different. I was shocked and I did not speak English. I had to learn. I was just, I remember going to my first class, which I took every Sunday only for probably for 3 hours or 2 hours and a half. My first day of class, English class, our teacher raised his hand and said, watch, watch. And I was pretty sure that watch was raise your hand. And he meant the time, the watch that he had on his wrist. And other words he was just, I could hear sounds, but I could not understand at all. Oh my gosh, I was very worried. Oh my gosh, how will I learn English? This is so hard. Uh, I was having trouble already taking buses, the numbers, the colors, and everything, the places, buildings. It was everything so beautiful. I was happy, but I was having a lot of trouble. Just commuting and learn to English was so challenging, but I kept going every Sunday. I kept reviewing my books, and then I learned by the time basics, and then eventually I registered classes like advanced classes. But at school I did not learn much because I was kind of worried the pronunciation, reading and writing, but kept reading and reading. At the beginning I learned the basics, and then the advanced ones, and then I started to listen the news, but later I started to listen the music in English. But I think I took more attention to the melodies only. And later on I registered to college where I could be able to learn advanced English, and then took general classes. And it was very difficult because I did everything: math, science, psychology was in English, more new words, new vocabularies, and I still didn't answer much. Also, not even ask questions because I was still learning new words every time, but was very challenging. But I'm so proud of myself that now I can communicate, and I still do practice. Like I'm learning about business, health, the Bible in English. So I feel so proud of myself that I am learning English and I'm expanding. I'm willing to practice more.